What's up? It's your boy Reemus. In this video, I'm gonna be speaking about another superior way of thinking, right? But we're philosophizing. Because the topic of today is about the fact that good or bad, the opinion from others definitely shouldn't matter. Now, usually when people say, opinions don't matter, don't listen to what anyone else has to say, they're thinking usually about negativity. They're saying, well, if they have something negative to say, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. So if they say, "Hey, I think your haircut is bad," um, then you shouldn't listen to them. But if they say your haircut is good, then you should take that in. I would actually invite you to think another way and say that good or bad, it really doesn't matter. Because when you think about it, if you can take the bad, if you take in the good, then you can also take in the bad just by nature. That's your pattern. Your pattern is to care about what other people think. So if they say, "Hey, your haircut is good," you get an emotional response that is positive. But if you do that, that actually means you can't help think, or you can't help take in the negative when they give it to you, because that's your preferential pattern, your preferential response. That's just what you naturally do. You can't just turn it off and turn it on, because your brain doesn't really know the difference. We just label these things as good or bad, but your brain only knows that certain type of communication. It doesn't know if that type of communication, it doesn't know to turn it off when it's good, and it doesn't know to turn it off or turn it on when it's turn it on when it's good, turn it off when it's bad. So I think about this, right? This is actually what made me think about it. The correct response, right, really should be when someone says, "Hey, you look," let's say, for example, you're a girl and someone says, "You look pretty." The correct response is actually, "You're welcome." But we're trained to say, "Thank you." Now, thank you means that we are grateful for you thinking I look good. So I'm like, let's say I get called handsome. I'm thankful for you receiving, because when you saw me looking good, you got emotional stimulation, you got a mental stimulation, you liked it. The positive feeling was there in your mind. It actually didn't change for me. Like, let's say you're walking past a pretty girl and you see her and she looks pretty, and you tell her, you don't even tell her, you just think, damn, she is pretty. And there's some sort of positive feeling. And she doesn't even know you thought that. The only person who received something was you. Now, you might go up to her and say, "Hey, you look pretty." And in response, she will say, "Thanks." But that's just a automatic response that society gave us to say. But then I question it and say, why isn't the automatic response, "You're welcome"? Now, if someone compliments you, most of the time you should still say thank you. But that's because we're understanding the social code. That's the social law. If you go around saying "you're welcome," you're gonna have to explain why you're saying that. And it's just gonna be that's gonna be too much of a headache. You're gonna have to explain all the time. Well, the reason why I'm saying you're welcome is because you're the actual one that received positive. No, 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 that's too long. But you can at least understand behind that social involvement that you're doing, when you're just like getting involved with the social code, but you're not really deep down agreeing with it. Because if that person can call you, can compliment you, then they can also give you something bad. But the point is, why the fuck is their perception that important? So I come to the conclusion that if someone says to me, "Hey, you look good," well, I think I look good. And if I think I look bad, like, let's say you did think you looked bad and someone said you look good, sometimes it doesn't even make a difference. But I think this is also the reason why women, when you tell them they look good, a lot of the time they'll go, "Oh yeah, thanks, thanks, thanks." But they know that they're not really taking it in, right? Because they must have this intuitive understanding of what I'm saying. Like, they don't care about compliments a lot of the time unless it's from someone that's valuable. And that actually makes more sense. Like, unless they have respect for the guy, then they don't really care that you're saying that. Well, when the homeless man says it, it's like they're not gonna care. But if you do have value, then they do care. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, it makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense why we say thank you, but it makes sense that you would agree to say thank you. But it also has to be questioned. Why am I put in a position why I have to say thank you? Because it doesn't actually make sense. Why should I feel good? Because you think something good of me. I think good of me, and that's that. It really doesn't matter. Now you could bring to attention something that I should think good about. Like you can tell me something. You can give me a compliment in terms of like bringing to my attention something that I didn't look at and see good, and then still it's me deciding that I like it. Do you get what I'm saying? So for example, I always give the other example of actually, you know what? I'm gonna save that for another video. Save that for the next one. But for now, I hope I've stimulated you to think and question something. You know, just look at things from another perspective, and we'll continue in another video. Peace.